Hey, this is Dave Pryor. I want to give you a quick overview of how my CSPO class works. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. Uh, the people in it always come up with really creative stuff, and it's just a blast. So it's about 50% exercise, so you should be prepared for that. You will be very active throughout the class. It's a 2-day training. We run 4 sprints throughout the 2 days, so it's 2 sprints a day, and a morning and an afternoon one. And typically, the way the class works is that during the first sprint, we have two things we're trying to achieve. One is to make sure you understand the basics of the product owner's job. That's mostly lecture. And there's a whole lot of exercises in there too around identifying a problem to solve, a problem that the class can fall in love with or your team in the class can fall in love with for the next 2 days. So the folks in the class source the problems, they pick one, they vote on it, decide which one they want to spend time on. And then in the first sprint, you will come up with an idea for a solution and create a vision statement. Now, to me, this is one of the most important aspects of the course. It's not required for the course, but I don't believe Scrum can work without a strong vision statement. So we spend a lot of time on that in my class. The second sprint begins after lunch, and you will take that initial draft of a vision statement. You've gotten some feedback on it from the rest of the class. You'll evolve it into another version using a completely different tool. And then over the course of the afternoon, we go from the idea of a vision statement through a strategic roadmap down to release planning and then talking about increments, what kind of increments we produce in each sprint. So by the end of the first day, what you would have done is seen the evolution of I have a problem to here's a solution and a way of explaining what this solution is and why it needs to exist on down through how strategically you'd like to see it evolve over time and to a point where we're ready to talk about how we're going to release it out to the world. The morning of the second day starts out completely differently, and our focus is on two things. One is who is your customer and your user, and what are your responsibilities as a product owner in terms of making that clear to the stakeholders, to the developers? Um, what do you have to know about them? What kind of information do you have to gather? How do you gather it? How do you share it? How do you create an empathetic connection between your development team and the person who has the problem? And that lecture portion of the morning is mixed in with a lot of exercises about how we go about taking that idea that we came up with on day one, the vision statement for the solution, and then using that to generate product backlog items. So we go through a number of activities in terms of understanding, how do we generate these ideas? How do we organize these ideas in the backlog? Who are we creating them for? So we'll go through talking about creating personas and how to prioritize items for those personas. Um, when we get to the fourth sprint, that's where we focus on some more advanced topics, things like different prioritization techniques, understanding value within your organization. Um, how do you write user stories? How do you critique user stories? And we go through a number of additional prioritization exercises. So in the CSPO course, over the 2 days, you should expect that you will be exposed to a lot of different tools. You should also expect that you will never be using any one of them long enough to feel like, okay, I totally got this. My goal with the class is to expose you to as many things as you can so that when you get back to work, you can decide which things you want to try out in your environment and see which are the best fit for you. I also think it's really important coming out of this class that you understand how to create a vision statement. You know the difference between a vision statement and a roadmap and a product goal. That you understand different techniques for prioritization, because one of the best gifts you can give yourself as a product owner is to have a specific technique for prioritization and make sure all the stakeholders and all the team members understand it. Because if they do, then it's their responsibility to come to you with a question that lets you say yes to them. It takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. And I really feel like that is a big part of this class. Your job as a product owner is so hard. It's the hardest job on the Scrum team. And I want to do anything I can in this class to make it easier for you to show up and be able to serve the company, the customer, and the team in the way that they all need you to. We're counting on you. A lot rests on your shoulders, and you have way too much to do. So we'll go through all that over the 2 days. It's a really fun time, and I hope you'll sign up. I look forward to seeing you in class. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm very happy to get on a call anytime and talk about it.